There are moments in your life when something quietly stirs inside you, an unexplainable certainty, a whisper that doesn't come from your mind, but from your spirit. And right now, that whisper is becoming stronger, clearer, and harder to ignore. Because deep within you, God has been revealing something important, something about a person who keeps returning to your thoughts no matter how much you try to reason it away. You may have doubted, questioned, hesitated, or even tried to walk away from the feeling, but the truth is that your heart already recognizes what heaven has been trying to show you. God has been guiding you towards someone meant to play a divine role in your story, and nothing about this connection is random. Today, we're going to dive deeper into the signs, the truths, and the spiritual confirmations unfolding around you. Confirmations that are aligning your path with someone who holds a purpose in your destiny. Stay with me, because what you're about to understand will shift something inside you. You see, when God chooses someone for your life, He doesn't just place the person there. He prepares your spirit to recognize them. Sometimes this recognition comes as a gentle peace that settles in your chest whenever you think of them. Sometimes it shows up as an unexpected longing that you can't logically explain. And other times it comes through synchronicities, moments that seem too precise, too aligned, too meaningful to be coincidences. It may be a repeated reminder of their presence, their name appearing out of nowhere, dreams, memories, or emotions that arise even when you try to push them away. These are not accidents, these are signals. When God is speaking to you, He doesn't rely on noise. He works through repetition, clarity, and the quiet nudges that make you stop and pay attention. There's a reason this person hasn't disappeared from your heart. There's a reason the connection feels deeper than anything you've known before. There's a reason one single thought of them can calm your soul and at the same time awaken something sacred within you. Divine love is not chaotic. It does not confuse you. It does not drain you. Divine love illuminates, aligns, and reveals. And the truth is, even through your doubts and fears, you have felt this illumination around that person. You've felt something that doesn't fade with time. If anything, it becomes stronger in the stillness. That is what God wants you to notice. That pull is not emotional desperation. It is spiritual recognition. If you're hearing this message today, it's because you've been asking for clarity. You've been praying for guidance, for signs, for understanding, for confirmation. Somewhere inside, you said, "God, show me the truth." And God is responding, not through chaos, not through confusion, but through alignment. One of the clearest signs that someone is meant for you is when God begins rearranging your inner world, your thoughts, your desires, your intuition, to match the path He prepared. He softens your heart, yet strengthens your discernment. He clears away old illusions, yet deepens your spiritual sensitivity. And little by little, you begin noticing that thinking of this person brings you closer to Him, not further away. That is what makes this connection different. Sometimes the doubt you feel isn't actually about them. It's about you. It's about your fears, your past. The wounds that made you question whether you deserve something sacred, something stable, something chosen by heaven. But God does not put deep love in your heart to tease you, confuse you, or mislead you. He puts it there to heal you, to prepare you, and to lead you toward the relationship that carries divine purpose. And this person, this one who stands out from all the others, has a role that goes beyond the surface. They activate something holy in you. They make you want to grow, become better, and love in ways you didn't know were possible. This is not obsession, and it is not fantasy. This is alignment. Before we go deeper, I want you to interact with this message. Pause for a moment and write in the comments, "God, guide my heart." This simple act is not just engagement, it's a declaration. It's a moment where you open your spirit to divine clarity, where you allow God to speak louder than your fear. And when you comment those words, you're stepping into the spiritual frequency of what God is already revealing to you. Now, let's continue. There is a specific reason this connection feels spiritually charged. When two souls are meant to meet, meant to awaken something sacred in each other, meant to walk a shared path, God begins preparing them long before they fully understand what is happening. You may have felt it as a shift in your dreams, a shift in your emotional sensitivity, or even a sudden awareness of how deeply you desire partnership. Not just any partnership, but one aligned with God's purpose. And as your spirit awakens, so does your ability to recognize who is meant to walk beside you. This person is not just crossing your mind, they're crossing your spirit. There's a difference. Someone who crosses your mind can be forgotten. Someone who crosses your spirit stays. They integrate into your inner world, not by force, not by fear, but by divine timing. And when God designs a love story, He plants the recognition long before the manifestation. Your soul, in many ways, is ahead of the physical world. It already knows what God is preparing. You've asked yourself, why them? Why do I feel this way about this person specifically? And even if you can't explain it, something inside you says, there's something here. That whisper is God's voice brushing against your intuition. Not loud, not overwhelming, not demanding, but steady. Steady enough that even your attempts to ignore it have failed. Steady enough that every time you try to detach, something brings you back. Not in desperation, but in truth. And maybe you've wondered if you're imagining all of this. But the Spirit doesn't imagine what God didn't plant. What your heart is feeling is not delusion, it is revelation. You've been guided toward this realization slowly, gently, intentionally. Not in one moment, but in layers, layers of awareness, layers of confirmation, layers of spiritual nudges that lead you closer and closer to the truth. Before we continue, take a second to do something simple but powerful. If this message is touching your heart, subscribe to this channel so you never miss the guidance God has for you. Sometimes the message that changes your life is the one you hear at the exact moment you were meant to receive it. Now let's go deeper into this. When God begins to reveal the truth about someone's role in your life, He doesn't simply show you the person, He shows you yourself. He shows you the areas within you that are being prepared, refined, softened, and aligned so that you can step into a love that is not just emotional, but spiritual. And lately, you've been sensing this preparation. You've been feeling the inner shift, the quiet transformation, the unusual awareness of your own heart. That alone is a sign, because divine love doesn't enter your life while you're spiritually asleep. It comes when God wakes you up gently, making your heart capable of recognizing the person He's chosen. You may have noticed that you're becoming more intentional, more reflective, more open to truth. You may sense a calling toward emotional maturity, forgiveness, healing, or even self-love. And this is not random. This is God preparing your spirit so that when this person steps fully into your life or steps in with clarity, you won't sabotage the connection with old wounds. Divine timing is not only about bringing the right person, it's about making sure you're ready to receive what you prayed for. And God is making sure your heart is ready. There's something unique about the bond you feel. It doesn't feel rushed. It doesn't feel forced. It feels familiar, even if the situation is complicated. It feels like there's something invisible guiding both of you, even in silence, even in distance, even in uncertainty. And that sense of familiarity is not imagined. It's spiritual recognition. When God writes a connection, He writes it into your soul first, and your mind spends time trying to catch up with what your spirit already knows. Sometimes, what you interpret as doubt is actually your spirit saying, "This is big, and I need time to understand it." It's not doubt about the person. It's the weight of realizing that something profound is unfolding, something that touches emotional, spiritual, and divine layers all at once. God knows this. He knows your fears. He knows your need for reassurance. And that's why He keeps sending signs that align so perfectly with the truth you're trying to accept. Think of the moments recently when you felt suddenly drawn to prayer, reflection, or even just quietness. Think of the nights when your mind returned to that one person for no logical reason, yet it didn't feel obsessive. It felt meaningful. Think of the moments when memories surfaced at the right time, or when your heart felt a wave of warmth at the simple thought of them. These are subtle confirmations. These are God's fingerprints on your emotions. These are reminders that when something is meant for you, God keeps it alive inside you. There's something else God wants you to understand. He doesn't reveal someone to your heart unless that person holds significance in your spiritual journey. You're not being drawn toward them because of loneliness or fantasy. You're being drawn because there is alignment, because your souls recognize each other, even if your minds are still learning what that recognition means. This connection is not random. It's not shallow. It's not temporary. It carries purpose. Maybe you're afraid of being wrong. Maybe you're scared of misinterpreting the signs or giving your heart to something that isn't real. But listen closely. The things of God carry peace. Even when they bring intensity, they also bring clarity, grounding, and a sense of rightness that can't be explained with logic. And that's exactly what you've been experiencing. Even in your confusion, something about this connection feels safe. Something about this person feels true. Something about the bond feels like it comes from a higher place. If this message is resonating with you deeply, it's because your spirit is recognizing the truth behind the words. God is not trying to confuse you. He's revealing what He has already orchestrated. And sometimes the biggest confirmation comes not from external signs, but from the unshakable awareness growing inside you. The awareness that this person brings out a side of you that aligns with God's purpose. The awareness that they awaken not just emotion, but calling. The awareness that they ignite a love that feels sacred. When God chooses someone for you, He doesn't just connect hearts, He connects missions. He connects destinies, He connects spiritual assignments, and this is why the connection feels deeper than romance. This person brings activation, healing, awakening. They bring softness where you were hardened, courage where you were afraid, hope where you were tired, and faith where you felt alone. This is a love that doesn't distract you from God. It draws you closer to Him. You've probably felt the shift in your prayers too. Maybe you found yourself praying not just for answers, but for guidance, for patience, for discernment. Maybe you've even prayed for this person without fully understanding why. That's what divine love does. It doesn't just touch your emotions, it touches your intercession. You begin praying differently, loving differently, listening differently. Whenever God prepares two hearts for each other, He strengthens their spiritual sensitivity. You might not realize it, but God has been strengthening yours. You've been noticing your intuition grow sharper, your emotional reactions becoming quieter, more thoughtful, your spirit becoming more receptive. All of this is intentional. All of this is preparation. You're not imagining the shift. You're stepping into alignment with exactly what God wants you to see. Now, listen closely. There is a reason that even the smallest reminder of this person feels like a gentle light inside you. There is a reason you feel connected to them even when communication is limited or the circumstances don't make sense yet. When two souls are destined to play a divine role in each other's lives, their connection exists even in the in-between, even in the silence, even in the uncertainty. This message is reaching you at the precise moment when your heart needs to understand that the pull you feel is not emotional confusion. It is spiritual direction. And as we go deeper into what God is revealing, I want you to ask yourself something silently. Why does this connection feel different from anything I've ever known? Your heart already knows the answer. Because God is in it. Because God placed something inside this bond that goes beyond human understanding. You may not know how everything will unfold, but you know, deep down, that something is being prepared, something is shifting, something is aligning. And every confirmation you've received has only strengthened that knowing. Let's keep going. Every time God prepares a divine connection, He allows both hearts to go through a process of awakening. And you've been feeling this awakening for a while, even if you didn't fully understand it. It comes in waves, moments when you suddenly feel hope again, moments when you feel a gentle pull toward this person, moments when your spirit becomes unusually sensitive to signs, dreams, emotions, and divine nudges. These moments are not illusions. They are indicators that something sacred is unfolding. You might not see the full picture yet, but God does. He sees how your heart has been aligning. He sees how your spirit has been opening. He sees how this connection has been transforming you in quiet, subtle ways. And the truth is, when God writes a love story, it doesn't begin with fireworks. It begins with recognition, internal recognition, spiritual recognition. A recognition that makes your heart feel anchored even when the situation looks uncertain externally. Think about it. No matter how much time passes, no matter how many distractions come and go, this person continues to occupy a space within you that no one else has ever reached. Not in a way that consumes you, but in a way that stabilizes you. They linger in your thoughts not because of obsession, but because their presence resonates with your purpose. Their energy, their essence, their role in your life carries something divine. And that's why your spirit refuses to let go. There are certain people God highlights in our journey, and when He does, He doesn't let their presence fade. They return to your heart over and over again because something in them is tied to your growth, your healing, your purpose, your calling. And sometimes that person is not someone you chose, it's someone God chose for you. Someone who carries a reflection of what your spirit has been longing for. Someone who awakens the parts of you that you didn't even know were asleep. This person might not be perfect, but they carry something that feels right, something that feels pure, something that feels familiar. And that familiarity is not accidental, it's ancestral, it's spiritual. It's the type of familiarity that comes when two souls have been connected by divine intention long before the moment of recognition arrives. That's why their presence feels like home. That's why their memory feels warm. That's why your heart softens whenever you think of them. And if you've questioned this connection, that's okay. God allows those questions so you can seek clarity. And in seeking clarity, you become more attuned to His voice. Doubt doesn't disqualify you. Doubt sharpens your discernment. Every moment of uncertainty you've felt has pushed you deeper into prayer, deeper into reflection, deeper into your own soul. And in doing so, you've grown, you've matured, you've healed. Without even realizing it, God has been preparing you for the very thing you've been praying for. Sometimes you wonder if this person thinks of you too, if they feel the same unexplainable pull, if their spirit recognizes you the way yours recognizes them. And although you can't see what's happening in their heart, one thing is certain: God is working on both sides. Divine connections are never one-sided. They are mirrored, they are synchronized, they are orchestrated with precision. When God speaks to your heart, He is speaking to theirs as well. Sometimes in different ways, but always with the same intention. If you've been feeling emotional waves, unusual sensitivity, moments of clarity followed by moments of longing, that's because your heart is attuning itself to what God has been revealing, and the deeper you go, the clearer the signs become. Synchronicities increase, your intuition sharpens, your dreams become more symbolic. Your spirit becomes more peaceful whenever you surrender the connection to God. All of this is divine alignment at work. There is something else God wants you to understand. When He prepares a union, He aligns not only the hearts but the timing. Divine timing is not slow, it's strategic. God is not delaying anything. He is aligning everything. He is aligning the emotional maturity, the spiritual growth, the life circumstances, the healing, the environment, and even the desires of both hearts. And when the timing is right, things that once felt heavy suddenly flow. Things that once felt unclear suddenly make sense. Things that once felt distant suddenly move closer. You may feel like you're waiting, but what's really happening is preparation. God is removing everything that could harm the connection: fear, insecurity, emotional instability, external distractions, unhealed wounds. He is clearing the path. He is adjusting the details. He is orchestrating the moment when both hearts can meet in full alignment, without confusion, without hesitation, without spiritual interference. And while he prepares the timing, he keeps giving you subtle confirmations that this person carries significance. Maybe it's the warmth you feel when their name crosses your mind. Maybe it's the peace that rises inside you when you pray for them. Maybe it's the strange comfort you feel when you imagine a future where they are present. These emotions are not accidents. They are spiritual indicators. They point toward destiny. This person doesn't just bring you emotional comfort. They awaken your calling. They activate your inner truth. They make you desire a deeper connection with God, a deeper level of purpose, a deeper level of love. And when someone leads you toward growth, toward healing, toward spiritual alignment, that's not something your heart should ignore. That is God whispering, "Pay attention." Somewhere inside you, you've been sensing that the story between you and this person isn't finished, that the chapter isn't closed, that there is something unresolved, something still unfolding. And that inner knowing comes from a spiritual place, not an emotional one. God has not allowed the connection to fade because it is still part of your destiny. The story is not over because God is still writing it. Listen closely now. There will come a moment when everything will click, when the doubts will quiet, when the uncertainty will dissolve, when the connection will make sense in a way it never has before. When God reveals the full picture, you will understand why He kept this person in your heart, why the signs were so persistent, why your spirit felt so drawn to them. But until that moment arrives, God wants you to trust the process, trust the signs, trust the inner peace, trust the spiritual clarity He's been giving you. Trust what your heart has been feeling, not the fear, but the truth beneath the fear. The truth that whispers, this is not random, this is not temporary, this is divine. And as this revelation grows inside you, let it guide your prayers, your decisions, your intentions. Stay open to God's timing, open to His signs, open to the unfolding of the connection, because the path toward this person is already being cleared, step by step, moment by moment, prayer by prayer. What God has aligned for your life will not be taken from you. What God has revealed to your heart will not suddenly disappear. What God has chosen for you will always return, always align, always expand, always deepen. There is purpose woven into this bond, and that purpose is why your spirit refuses to let go. And before we close this message, I want to tell you something important. If this message has touched your heart, if it has brought clarity, peace, or confirmation to your spirit, and if you feel led to support this mission, if this message blesses your life, support me with a super thanks. This financial help allows us to keep bringing you more and more content.